Check, check, check. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Veterans Day to you. We're going to have some pregame festivities. We'll tell you more about that before and after they happen. But welcome into Marcus Pavilion for the NCAA opener for the Division II GNAC team, the St. Martin Saints. They will be hosting the number 13 ranked team in the country, Cal State San Marcos, and what will almost surely be a heavyweight battle between the Cougars and the Saints. My name's Scott Gladstone. So excited to have you alongside what's going to be an outstanding competition between these two sides. Cal State San Marcos made the tournament last year after winning the CCAA. They were the number one seed in the West region, eventually falling to a GNAC foe in Alaska Fairbanks. On Alaska Fairbanks, the Nanooks magical ride all the way deep into the NCAA tournament. On the other side, we have a St. Martin squad that went 11-6 in the GNAC conference, but a very competitive Great Northwest Athletic Conference play, and they ended up on the top of the regular season standings. They were downed in the first round of the GNAC tournament on a buzzer beater against Western Oregon. An 18-9 campaign by St. Martin's, and it was started overall, it was started with their second game, a 16-point loss against this Cal State San Marcos team. And it was one of those games that head coach Aaron Landon would look back on at the end of the season. And after getting upset in the tournament, they looked back and they said, man, maybe if we would have won that game, probably, that would have been enough for an at-large bid into the West region of the NCAA tournament. They got upset. They were not invited to the NCAA Division II tournament, and that is something that for the remaining members of this Saints squad, something that still is sticking with them very clearly. These early season losses, not something they want to happen again. It's going to be a great contest. We're going to talk about all the returning pieces as well as the departed pieces for both sides as we set the stage. But first, some pregame festivities and the starting lineups. We'll be back with you right after this. Don't go anywhere. CSU San Marcos and St. Martin's coming up on the Saints Digital Network. Welcome back to Marcus Pavilion. The starting lineups have been read. Of course, the national anthem was played before game one of this doubleheader, so no national anthem here to start this game. Of course, Lacey is a community that is very integrated with the armed forces. So Veterans Day, this game, a very special occasion here. I'll talk a little bit more about why that is, especially if you're somebody tuning in from San Marcos that's not familiar with the Lacey, Olympia, Tumwater area. The starting lineup for Cal State San Marcos is Jace McClain, Quinn Denker, Zach Perlstein, Joel Mensa, and Greg Milton III. Their head coach in his 7th season is B.J. Foster. The tip will be between Joel Mensa and Shaquem Alcindor. Mensa won it, but he tipped it right to Nathaniel Stokes. Starting lineup for St. Martin's: Brandon Bunn, Kyle Greeley, Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, Nathaniel Stokes, and Shaquem Alcindor. 3 out of those 5 starters are newcomers, but they all have collegiate basketball experience. Shaquem Alcindor, his first points as a St. Martin Saint right away. The biggest question mark in this offense is the post play. Stokes and Alcindor look to answer that question right away. He does, but not able to get in the way of the shot there from Zach Perlstein. That is right back. Greeley from deep. Greeley for 3. Kyle Greeley, one of the 2 returners in this starting lineup. He pulls the trigger from way downtown and fires it in. Just under a minute gone. It's 5-2. St. Martin's in front. Out to Perlstein. Now up top. This is McCain. Out to the corner. That's a 3. Answered by Quinn Denker. Sophomore out of San Jose. Right back at him. Skinner looks into Alcindor, who takes some contact, holds on to the ball, and will reset. Now a little shimmy, a shake, a jump hook, and a bucket for Shaquem Alcindor. He's got 4 points, just a minute and a half into his St. Martin's career. Now it's Denker with it. Back out. Back to Denker. He's up top, guarded by Greeley. Denker sliced a little bit, but back out to the perimeter. Number 1, McCain with it. McCain looking for space. He fires from 3, and he misses. Offensive rebound put up and missed, and another offensive board. Eventually will come back, but a foul is called. I think Kyle Greeley is going to be knocked for that one. No, Nathaniel Stokes. I mentioned these 3 newcomers to the lineup all have collegiate experience. Number 0, Brandon Bunn. He's a transfer from Newman University. Nathaniel Stokes is a transfer, played at a couple different places, but most recently at Bryant University, a Division I school with a very good basketball program, as Denker puts it in there. And then, of course, Shaquem Alcindor, who most recently comes from Odessa College down in Texas. Bunn with it. Led Newman University in minutes played in this past season. Tyke Thompson in, his first time in, as he's one of the returners. He's in for Alcindor. And we also see Christian Hafner coming to the sub-table now. 5 on the shot clock. Bunn with it. ISO's up. Step back 3. No. Rebound Skinner. Tyke Thompson puts it in. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner with the offensive board after it gets poked out to him. And with 17 and some change left in the first half, it's 9-7. St. Martin's, of course, came in last season as the underdog in most of their early games before they showed just how solid they were. That one's stolen by Bunn. The pass up ahead. It's 2-on-1. Tyke Thompson gets the loft, but he's going to pull out of it. Nielsen-Skinner now will set up on the outside. The fast break has a pause put on it. 16:50 to go here in the first half. 9-7 in favor of the St. Martin Saints. Tyke Thompson passes off to Bunn. Bunn to Nielsen-Skinner. Takes the screen from Stokes. Pick and roll. Nielsen-Skinner all the way. High off glass, and it goes in. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner with the left hand, and immediately after that, Coach B.J. Foster of Cal State San Marcos pumps the brakes on his offense, and Tells him to slow it down a little bit. You do not want to get fooled in front of an away crowd into trying to force too many things. A long two, rims in and out. Bunn the rebound. He flips it up. Thompson will collect. Greeley now heads it up down the floor. Smart to stop before the half-court line and pass it back to Bunn. Bunn now with it on the outside. A little bit of a attempted pick and roll, but pulled out of it. Bunn pulls up. Bunn for two. Bunn playing all the way across the country from his home in the Bronx, New York. So for those of the Bunn family that have not made the trip cross country for the season opener, welcome. This is a primetime game out there, 7:30 in New York City. We got a timeout called, and we're going to take our first break of the game. 13-7, St. Martin's comes out with a 6-point edge with 15:38 left to go in the first half. Back here inside Marcus Pavilion in Lacey, Washington. Just in the past couple weeks, the temperature has dropped outside, and I'm not a big cold guy, so the only good thing about that is, one, ski season, if you're into that, that's coming up. But two, basketball season is now officially upon us. I have to defog my car in the morning, but I'll take that for these guys hooping out in front of a great crowd here to start this season off. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner will bring it up the court, take a screen from Nathaniel Stokes. Stepped out, did Nielsen-Skinner on the baseline. Cal State San Marcos, I'm not going to overlook them at all. I'm going to try and tell you just as much about them as I can, of course. I know a lot more about St. Martin's here as the assistant athletic director for communications, as well as, somebody who just is around the team a lot. That's a nice pull-up there from Greg Milton III. Quick come down the other way, Tyke Thompson. The big thing for Cal State San Marcos, as Tyke Thompson's going to get a foul there, big thing for them is how do they replace two of their best players. Tyrone Nesby, the fourth, as well as Blake Seitz, moved on. Seitz led the team just under 17 points per game last season, while Nesby had about 8.6 and, was a big part of this squad. Thompson rims in and out on the first free throw attempt, 13-9. San Marcos, however, they were able to win their conference tournament. And like I mentioned, they lost to Alaska Fairbanks in the NCAA tournament, a 70-63 decision. As for the first time this game, another transfer, Hunter Sipe, checks in. Sipe, a transfer from Westmont College, but he's a guy that has a homecoming here to play for St. Martin's. He's an Olympia, Washington native. Cal State San Marcos will bring it down the court. Jace McCain with it. McCain, one of the leading scorers last year, a key returner of this squad, as is the guy that has the ball now. Tyke Thompson, great defense, but good play from Greg Milton III to put it in. And it's 14-11, one possession game. Sipe moves it around. Greeley with it. Greeley back to Sipe. Sipe to Nielsen-Skinner. Nielsen-Skinner, slow it down. 15 on the shot clock. Plenty of time. Sipe pulls up for three. Hit it. Hunter Sipe from downtown The lead is doubled from 3 to 6, 17 to 11 now. As coming down the floor and setting up the offense is Milton the third. That one is going to be out of bounds. The heel of Jace McCain stepped on the line, and that's a turnover for McCain, the junior out of Sacramento. A little bit of a pause here. Don't know what exactly we are questioning. Ball will be inbounded now with 14 to go in the first half. Full court press put on by Nielsen Skinner, and it's perfect press there from number 5, Donovan Watkins, giving Nielsen Skinner everything all up in his pockets. As Nielsen Skinner frustrated himself, and he's aggressively wiping off his hands here to make sure he doesn't lose grip on the ball again like that. Now it's Watkins with it. They got the switch to Tyke Thompson. This is for 3. In and out. Rebound Sipe. Jaden Nielsen Skinner now. That time the handles are there. Back to Sipe. To Nielsen Skinner. And Skinny will pull out. Sipe with it. Under the basket. Tyke Thompson picks up a foul. Don't know who that foul was going to be called. There was a couple bodies under the basket. And the foul is called on Edwin Collins, number 4, 6'3" junior out of Moreno Valley, California. Almost this entire squad is out of California. There is just 2 players that are not from California, and one of those guys is not from the United States, hometown of Accra, Ghana, for Joel Mensah, who we saw have the opening tip. And speaking of, he's walking on the court right now, going to sub in for Zach Perlstein. Both Thompson free throws go in, 19 to 11 now, 8-point lead for St. Martin's. Mentioned in the pregame, a game with something to prove for this St. Martin's squad that is now into a 2-3 zone. Pulls the trigger from a long way away, and it hits backboard, but it goes as an offensive rebound. We're going to get a reset of the shot clock. I don't know if that hit rim. That one definitely did, and it also comes out. Rebound, Christian Hafner. Bunn will push up. And that's a foul on San Marcos. We've seen that great kind of in-your-pocket defense from Donovan Watkins force a turnover. The problem is you play that too much, you get called for a foul every once in a while. That's what happened to Watkins. 12:53 left to go in the first half. Bunn will get the inbound from Tyke Thompson. Alcindor back in to deal with Mensah. That low block battle is going to be fun to go back to. That one's stolen away, poked away by Greg Milton from Tyke Thompson. Turnover to Thompson, steal to Milton. This one's kicked out, a pump fake pass to the corner, and instead they pull it back. Still in a 2-3 zone in the inside. Mensah pulls up, and he misses it. Rebound Thompson. Bunn brings it up. So it seems that Skinny, Jaden Nielsen Skinner, will be the main option, as this is Alcindor. Shaquem Alcindor used that big body to get into the key there, but puts the shot off target. Like I said, Jaden Nielsen Skinner going to be the option to be the point guard coming down when he's in, as is typically the case, what you can expect from the St. Martin's team with Skinny on it. But Brandon Bunn, kind of a backup point guard, as well as shooting guard duties when they're both in. That's kind of how it's been. This one's kicked out to the corner, and it's off target. Rebound Thompson. He's got a couple big boards recently. Tyke Thompson has a lot of potential. And speaking of potential, Alcindor onto the bucket, an offensive board, and hooks it in. With the departure of Brett Reed, as well as Marky Adams, this post question mark loomed large over the offseason. Who was going to be the guy or guys to step up for St. Martin's. And Alcindor, from what we've seen of him, got some good post moves down there, and he's a big body. No shot for this foul. And we're going to take another immediate timeout, but that portion of play really won by St. Martin's, a 21-11 advantage after just over 8 minutes of play. 11:40 to go in the first half, 21-11. Don't go anywhere. Back here, we are in Marcus Pavilion in Lacey, Washington, in the South Sound area. For those Cal State fans watching, about an hour or so, depending on traffic, to the south on Interstate 90 from Seattle, Washington. So you can fly into SeaTac and be here okay. I assume that's what Cal State San Marcos did to get here. Flew into SeaTac, took about a 30-minute bus ride down the interstate. This one shot up, and a nice touch from number 32, Greg Milton. Really had no chance of that one going in. And Brandon Bunn, a good job running by as, whoa, no foul called there, as it looked like Donovan Watkins was on top of Shaquem Alcindor. I do not know how that one doesn't get called. That is just safety-wise. That is one of those where you jump up in the air and you go on top of somebody. Typically, that is not legal. Apparently, it was allowed to persist, and then a foul called on Brandon Bunn the other way. 11-10 to go as this three-pointer is shot up and missed by Watkins. Rebound, Alcindor. A strong outlet pass. Man, that ball shot like a bullet off his hands. Watkins continues to play up in the shorts and eventually going to get called for a hand check. That might be something that for Cal State San Marcos fans tuning in is going to be an ongoing storyline, at least in the early part, but maybe throughout the season, as Donovan Watkins plays aggressive defense, but it's almost how are the refs going to call games against him. If they're strict, it might be some long nights for Watkins. That's a great rebound from Sipe, and then a jumble, and a foul is called on St. Martin's. I think Stokes might have taken out somebody's legs down there as that one went loose. Sipe went up kind of with one hand and brought it down. But then once he hit the floor, everything kind of went haywire. And it is Nathaniel Stokes, his second foul. In the early going, scoring-wise, Tyke Thompson with 5 points, but Shaquem Alcindor leads the Saints with 6, 3 for 5 from the field. On the other side, Milton has 6 himself for the Cougars. Perlstein right behind him with 4 in this 21-13 contest here with 10:47 to go. Watkins brings it down. Haven't seen much from him offensively as that one's going to go down under. Mensah puts it up and in. Somebody's got to throw it in. As that's exactly what Kyle Greeley goes back and does. Luckily, the referee was pretty loose on calling his 5-second violation. Waited until somebody got a handle on it. Out to Bunn. Bunn for 3. Going to be short. Rebound, Alcindor as he pokes it up and eventually grabs it. and it's out off of San Marcos. Now we're seeing the punchback from San Marcos in this heavyweight battle as Tyke Thompson comes in for Alcindor. San Marcos head coach PJ Foster, I think, still trying to argue to get that ball his way. But as I have it right in front of me over on this near side, right next to where your camera angle is from. As that happened, see pretty clearly that it's out on San Marcos. And maybe he was also arguing, talking about the shot clock, but it goes to 30 rather than 20 seconds. Greeley with it up top. Hafner here, he's a three-point specialist, can shoot the ball lights out. Speaking of a good shooter, Greeley gets it and pulls up before pulling out of it. Greeley goes up, Greeley puts it in. Got some contact too, no foul call, but he'll take the bucket. 23-15 with 9:40 to go in the first half. Mensah is the big for San Marcos, guarded by Tyke Thompson. Got a couple inches on him. As the floater is up and in. Great shot from Greg Milton this way. And we're seeing some great shooting as teams are starting to figure it out in this early season contest. Back to Thompson. Thompson, he's going to pull up from three-point land. That one's not going to go in. Rebound goes to number one, Jace McCain. McCain brings it up. A wraparound pass to Mensah, blocked away. And they're going to call it goaltending. I think that hit the backboard just before it was blocked from Thompson. And you could almost feel it that the crowd kind of reserved their celebration and started to celebrate, and then the call went against him. 9 minutes to go here in the first half, 23-19 in favor of the Saints. This one is a left-handed shot put up and just not enough put on it from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. 23-19, this 4-point differential could be cut to one, and it is not. Just in and out of the basket from Milton, going the other way now. Skinny out to Thompson. Thompson in the corner, guarded by Milton. Maybe a little bit of a mismatch there. See if they try and utilize something out of it. Mensah guarding Greeley. Greeley's trying to take advantage of it. The kick out, Sight for three. Sight for three! Flushes it down, 26-19. The lead goes from 4 to 7, and the gym, awaiting a big shot, is happy to see that one go down. Mensah kind of runs out of options, and a travel called on the Cougars post. 8:08 remaining in the first half. Milton now leading the charge for San Marcos. He was one of those top scorers for the Cougars last year. Besides Blake Seitz, he was the man called upon, averaged 13.3 points per game last year for Cal State San Marcos. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, plenty happy slowing things up. The kick out to Hafner. Hafner, a veteran on this team, a good presence that Aaron Landon likes to have. Out to Thompson. Thompson gets popped. I don't know if he got it in the face, but he definitely had his cylinder infringed upon. And so 3 shots will be coming up after we take a quick media timeout. 7:47 to go in the first half. It's 26-19. St. Martin's is ahead of CSU San Marcos. Back here, we're coming out of this timeout, 26-19 in favor of the St. Martin's Saints, on the quest to repeat as GNAC regular season champions, of course. I'm sure they would opt out of that and rather have the conference championship tournament that eluded them last year, especially at their home place. I know Aaron Lynn was personally responsible for coming up short, especially in front of the home crowd. He wanted to make the people of Lacey that come and support this team so strong. He wanted to make them happy by trying to bring home that GNAC championship, and obviously heartbreaking buzzer beater upset against Western Oregon that will not leave any of the players or coaches that were there as a memory anytime soon, both sides. All 3 free throws made by Tyke Thompson as the lead expands to 10 in the early going. And the Saints are going to go into kind of a 1-2-2 full court press. They're trapping in the corner right now, but Tyke Thompson got out of it. Pulls up and converts to his number 4, Edwin Collins. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner will push the fast break up right away. See that so often in basketball. Trying to just get up the floor quick after a made basket by the other team. Take advantage of maybe a lackadaisical run back by the team that just scored. Skinny can't take advantage of it there, but does get it down pretty easy because of it. Tyke Thompson will fire off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Collins. McCain with it. There's going to be a moving screen. That one's called on Chase Boucher. Just shuffling his feet a little bit when that contact happens. And Boucher picks up his first foul, the 6th on CSU San Marcos. Skinny for 3. In the bucket. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. They dared him to shoot, and a high arching rainbow shot rattles around and comes home. 32-21, an 11-point lead for the Saints over San Marcos. This one floated in there by McCain, missed, couldn't get it successfully over Tyke Thompson, but Tyke Thompson responds in favor and can't get it successfully over McCain. Now the kick out for 3, and it doesn't go for Milton. Rebound Hafner. Skinny calms it down. Looks like Champ Spencer is preparing to come in for the first time, at least that I've seen him. Tyke Thompson with it now. Double team coming, and nobody told him that he was about to get his pocket picked. 6 minutes to go now. And now it's Milton. Milton driving. Milton, a little bit of a push off. Christian Hafner staying on the ground. At least he wasn't called for a Class B technical flopping foul, which is a new part of the game. I'll explain it, especially if you get that. If you watch game 1, you saw that a little bit. There's 5:47 here to go, and it's a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay with you. The leading scorer last season for St. Martin's, and obviously one of their biggest pieces that they're trying to make up, is Alex Schumacher. Schumacher averaged 14.6 points per game. He also had 97 assists. Other than Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, he was the top facilitator on that offense as well. A great slashing guard out there. And obviously they're going to miss out on Brett Reed as well. Those are 2 key players, and now they're trying to find the solution. Where does that come from? Is it new players? Is it old players? The thing that Aaron Landon does so well, especially a coach coming from the JUCO circuit, is finding those JUCO players, finding those transfers, as the transfer portal has become such a key part of college basketball, and especially men's college basketball. And clearly with the 3 newcomers, but college basketball veterans coming into the starting lineup, that is clearly a route that Aaron Landon is going to take and live or die by, but it worked out 2 years ago with the trio that he got in the form of Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, Tyke Thompson, and Kyle Greeley. Speaking of that man, he expands the lead to 11 with a nice turnaround, Jay. It's 34-23 with 5:20 to go. This pull-up hits off back iron, rebound to Champ Spencer. His first touch on it, the Sumner, Washington native. Alcindor tries to run a pick and roll. Out to Hafner in the corner. Hafner in and out. Alcindor nearly caused too much contact from behind number 12, Chase Boucher. Doesn't get called for the foul, doesn't get the rebound either, though. McCain with it. McCain guarded by Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. 15 on the shot clock. Nielsen-Skinner out. Oh, and that is a stiff arm, not allowed. Shaquem Alcindor takes the charge, knows exactly the situation to do that, and with a pretty full extension there from Boucher, gets the offensive foul. And Alcindor's a big guy. It takes a lot to get him to fall, but when he falls, you know it. And the student section erupts for the in appreciation for the charge that the big man just took. Hafner will get the ball just before half court from Greeley as he feels out his defender. Gets the ball to Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. A bit of a double there for it, but then poked away by number 2, Lyle Sutton, which is going to earn a new dribble for Nielsen-Skinner. Still has it. 5 on the shot clock. Floats it up, and a teardrop falls down. What a shot from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Read the defense, ran the shot clock down, and ended up with 2 points out of it. Now it's a 13-point lead with 4 minutes to go in this first half. Kyle Greeley, good makeup there on defense after getting beat. Alcindor the rebound, up to Hafner. Hafner, hesitation, gets back to it, and eventually it's poked away. A 3-on-1, now it's a 2-on-0. And it's going to be a foul on Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Ooh, I don't know if that was, that seemed like, it didn't seem completely intentional, but it was a situation where it was a clear path, pretty much foul, and that's exactly what head coach DJ Foster is asking for, an intentional foul to stall up that fast break. It doesn't look like they're calling that. He's still asking for it, but it looks like it'll just be a common foul on the ground. So an easy 2 points taken away as we go into the final media timeout of this first half. With 3:47 left to go, it's 36-23, St. Martin's in front. Back here in Marcus Pavilion. My name's Scott Gladstone. Thanks again for joining us for this contest between St. Martin's University and Cal State University San Marcos. These two teams were part of a kind of a 4-team jamboree, conference challenge, whatever you want to call it, last year, as both GNAC opponents St. Martin's and Montana State Billings went to San Marcos. They competed at San Marcos' gym. Played one game against Holy. Each of them played one game against Holy Names, one game against San Marcos, and both of them lost to San Marcos and beat Holy Names last year. Right now, St. Martin's trying to flip one of those scripts and they take on an 0-1 Holy Names squad tomorrow at 7:30 here at Marcus Pavilion, if you can join us for that one. But let's finish this one up first. Good defense from the Saints, and eventually the offensive rebound goes to Mensa, however. Now kicked out for three, it's McCain. McCain misses. Rebound, Champ Spencer. Brandon Bunn brings it down. Champ Spencer for three. Can't get it to fall. Crowd wanted to erupt on that one. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. 36-23. McCain with it. He facilitates it around into Mensa. Guarded by the much shorter Bunn, and it ends up missing. Tyke Thompson nearly goaltended that one. We've already seen him do it once. Nearly just poked that one out of coming down. A no-look pass, and then another one to Greeley. But Greeley does not try and pull the trigger. That was Bunn under the basket that flipped it over his head to Tyke Thompson, who didn't pull the trigger. Now Bunn guarded closely by Milton. He's going to give it off. Champ Spencer with it. Spencer to Bunn. 5 on the shot clock. Bunn trying to create some space. He pulls up, hits it off the iron. Mensa the rebound, flips it to McCain. 36-23 with 2:20 to go in the first half. Out to Milton. Milton flushes it through. Much needed bucket for the Cougars. They were down 13, and they've come up with some good defensive stops. This one's out to Hafner, and Hafner answers in the corner. Having a spot-up shooter like Christian Hafner is so important. And right there, gets to the corner with some space, and a guy like Hafner will make you pay. The lead back to 13 as Hafner answers the Milton bomb with one of his own. This one is a toe on the line for McCain. Rebound, Champ Spencer. Tyke Thompson will bring it up. He slows it down now, out to Bunn. Bunn will call out the offense. 1.5 minutes to go here in the first half. No look down under. Tyke Thompson, slam-a-jamma. Timeout, Cal State San Marcos. Let's take another look at that one as Brandon Bunn calling out the offense up top, trying to slow it down. As you see Tyke Thompson, I don't know how he got away from his defender. Just played it casual, and the switch call just didn't happen there. That's exactly what happened, as got to be clear, and I guess the thing is the crowd was starting to maybe get a little bit loud, and the switch call isn't loud enough, then two guys are guarding one man, and Tyke Thompson, a guy that if you leave him all alone below the rack, he can flush it home pretty easy. The lead is at 15 for the St. Martin Saints right now, and for a team that was so good defensively last year. Cal State San Marcos allowed 63.5 points per game. And right now the Saints are at 41. We're not even through the first half. And the other thing, they had the best three-point defense in the country last year, forcing opponents to shoot 28% from behind the arc. And in this early going, St. Martin's has hit 5 three-pointers. They're shooting 45% from behind the arc. That's a big difference and a big part of this St. Martin's lead. Mensa's going to set a screen. Watkins with it now to Milton. Back down to Mensa in the low block. Guarded by Sipe, basically triple teamed. And they come up with the stop as the hook shot goes off front iron. This one's put up and in from Brandon Bunn. Takes some contact as it was going to be an attempted charge, but Bunn, the smart, savvy veteran that he is, avoided committing the charge and found a way to take the contact and put it in the bottom of the net. This is a three from Milton. Needed that as it goes down and silences the crowd at Marcus Pavilion. That's the type of player Greg Milton is. The Wyoming transfer steps up big, and a bucket is needed to end this first half. Nathaniel Stokes, haven't seen much of him in this first half because of 2 fouls on him. Bunn with it, Bunn pulls back, Bunn through the bucket. Shot clock turned off at 20 seconds of game time here in the first half, 45-29. Watkins will hold up and save for the final shot. 10 on the clock now. Guarded by Sipe. Out to Milton. Milton looking around. Up top, Watkins with it. Watkins fires. Watkins hits from three-point land to end the half. A couple clutch shots by the Cougars to finish off the frame. Things could look really bad for CSU San Marcos if not for those threes. First from Milton and then from Watkins with a hand in his face, finishing off the half with two big three-pointers. But I'll tell you what, the offense from St. Martin's in the early going was quite dangerous. 45 points against a team that was one of the best defensively in the country last year. A 13-point lead going into halftime. We'll be back with a few minutes to go in the halftime period to tell you about the first half, recap a little bit of what we saw. For now, go get some snacks, and we'll see you back shortly for the second half. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are Marcus Pavilion in Lacey, Washington. Half number 2 between in-game number 2 between the visiting Cal State San Marcos Cougars and the home side for this CZA GNAC conference matchup, which is our conference challenge, excuse me. First half won by the St. Martin Saints, but as our official statter and assistant sports information director Ibrahim Mustafa said to me during the break, games are not won in the first half. That's exactly true. So that is what St. Martin's will try and do. The problem right now, as we look at some of the box score from that first half, for San Marcos scoring-wise, it's Milton and then everybody else. Milton with 16 out of 32. If you don't know math very well, that's half of their points. The next closest scorers is Pearlstein with 4 and Joel Mensah with 4. They have shot 0 free throws. That's another thing. Despite having just about the same number of fouls, the Cougars did, they committed 7 fouls and they were fouled 5 times. So the foul's only 2, difference of 2, but the refs let them play a fair amount and no shooting fouls, no free throws attempted in that first half. On the other side, nobody except for Tyke Thompson has attempted a free throw for St. Martin's. He's 6 for 7, and he's the leading scorer for the Saints with 10 points. But it's a very split attack, as we saw last year with St. Martin's. And Kyle Greeley and Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, each with 7. Shaquem Alcindor, Brandon Bunn, and Hunter Sipe, all with 6. Also chipping in is that three-pointer from Christian Hafner. The shooting in that first period, a 59% shooting percentage from the field for the St. Martin Saints from three-point land, 45.5%. This is a Cal State San Marcos squad that was incredibly good against the three-point ball last year, and right now you're seeing from the field and from the three-point land the Saints offense make them pay. Problem is shooting can be hit or miss sometimes, so can the Saints keep up the high percentage shots, the good shots, the shots that go down, and will eventually kind of the law of averages even out for them. It's early season, so we do not know what the averages will be anyway for the Saints. Inbound will go to Watkins, and we are underway. Watkins not a starter, but he is a second half starter. And the shot clock did not start on that one. So we're gonna get the shot clock ticked down to 24, excuse me. The ball is inbounded now. Both shot clock and game clock are moving. Throw into Mensah. Back out, and here's the offensive man, Milton. That's who had that touch in the corner. Still waiting in the corner for it. 16 out of 32 points. Turnaround Jay goes for Zach Pearlstein, who came out and he scored the first couple buckets for Cal State San Marcos, but then he went quiet. Really didn't even see him on the court that much in the latter part of the first half. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner with it. It's an 11-point lead. Daniel Stokes gets it down. The kick out to Greeley. Back out to Stokes. Stokes looked hard for it. Alcindor was in the key for a while, but he stepped out, got the ball, and then a nice little jump hook to put that one down the cylinder. 47-34, lead back to 13 for the Saints. Pearlstein with it. Now to Milton. Mensah. It's a 2-3 zone right now. Pearlstein for 3. Off back iron. Mensah going to tip it out, and that's out off of the big man, going to be Saints ball. Problem with 2-3 zones that you'll see, and that clearly Cal State San Marcos trying to take advantage of. 1, you get outside shooting, you get a lot more looks from three-point land. 2, boxing out is so hard because you don't have a singular man that you're always going to be in charge of boxing out. That one, a missed layup from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, and then he lays off trying to get the rebound because he thought he was out of bounds. Goes off of the Saints ball to the Cougars. Back in the 2-3 zone. Alcindor in the middle of that 2-3 zone. Ball knocked around the outside to Mensah from the short corner. He shoots it long, rebound, Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Pushes up, Greeley with it. Greeley looking for options. He splits, goes to the hoop. Greeley floats it up and in. 49-34, the race to 50, 1 point away from winning that. This is St. Martin's. That ball knocked around, good hustle from Greeley, and it's gonna be a jump. Jump ball goes to the Saints. And that was all Kyle Greeley, knocking that ball a little bit, realizing he had a chance to get 2 paws on it. Next thing you know, he ends up on his back with just as much possession of the ball as the Cougar challenging him for it. We're going to start with it in the front court. And the shot clock will be at 20 seconds because of that. Greeley looks to inbound. The throw to the backcourt, however. Brandon Bunn will grab it, set up the offense. Guarded by McCain. Alcindor takes it up top. And there's going to be a foul called, I believe, on Pearlstein. Pearlstein's 3rd foul. That's part of the reason why we didn't see him in that first half. We'll see if head coach B.J. Foster tries to pull him out of the game at this point. But no call to the bench made yet. Pearlstein in there on 3. Apologize. We're going to get another stoppage in play. Something with the game clock or the shot clock, I believe. Right now, 17:40 on the game clock and 15 on the shot clock as Kyle Greeley takes it out. Very quickly, 10 seconds left. Bunn will fire. Bunn for 3. 52-34, an 18-point lead on the number 13 ranked team in the country for St. Martin's University. St. Martin's not completely ignored in the national polls. A couple votes were thrown their way, but surely a win here and a win tomorrow night, and they're going to be finding their way into the top 25. A gritty fight for the rebound, and it's another jump ball called. This one will stay with the Cougars. Shot clock goes to 20 with 17:10 left in this half. Foul called, count the bucket. Don't know if it was Stokes or Alcindor, but somebody contacted Pearlstein there. And he's got himself a chance to make it an and one play. 52-36 is the score. Could make it a 15-point game if he converts the free throw. Started to say it, but apologize to Zach's family if I'm mispronouncing it. Official guide says Pearlstein. That means Stein. Our PA announcer is pronouncing it Pearlstein. So that means one of us is right, one of us is wrong. And I hope it's, I would say I hope it's me, but, you know, it's one of us, and that's how we're going to live or die by it. I'm going to keep saying Pearlstein, I apologize if it's wrong. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner over to Kyle Greeley, takes some contact, goes through it, stops, pulls up, bang! The free throw line jumper got rid of Milton, got the space, fired away. 17-point lead for St. Martin's. They're back in the 2-3 zone. Milton with it. Milton to Denker. Mensah on the short corner. He gives it up to Milton. Milton. Shimmying and shaking. Got a lanky Stokes on him. No shot put up. Kicked out. Watkins with it. Continually good defense. And that's a block by Stokes. Nathaniel Stokes, and then a little high step there from Brandon Bunn coming down. He's going to get Watkins all over him. Eventually he just gives it up to Stokes, who will give it back to Brandon Bunn. Bunn, I mentioned he's from all the way across the country. Stokes, who just came up with that big block. That one's short, rebound to Milton. Stokes has a homecoming of sort, in the same way that Hunter Sipe had something similar. As Mensah picks up a knock here, a lot of pain coming down, holding his hand. Hopefully he's okay. as we're going to get a media timeout. I'll tell you more about Nathaniel Stokes on the other side of this media timeout and his homecoming that parallels Hunter Sipes. Don't go anywhere. It is 54-37 as we take the first media timeout of the second half. Welcome back to the sweet tunes of Neil Diamond and Sweet Caroline playing over the PA system here. 54-37 in favor of the home squad, St. Martin's Saints, as we look ahead to St. Martin's this year. As I will come back to Nathaniel Stokes in a second. They play Holy Names next, so you have a chance to see them tomorrow night, whether on the broadcast here on the St. Martin's YouTube stream, and they also play at home against Douglas College, a Canadian school, on Monday at 6 p.m. So join us in person or on the stream for that. It'll be a pleasure bringing you St. Martin's basketball all season long as Milton pulls up and hits the shot, 54-39. Nathaniel Stokes, you see him coming down the floor wearing the number 13. Mentioned he's a transfer from Bryant, but he's from Tacoma. And he's somebody who's been on head coach Aaron Landon's radar for a long time. His Bun steps back, nearly gets that one to fall. And not a very high percentage shot from the Newman transfer. This is Milton inside. Milton takes a foul. 54-39. Could crack 40 as the first free throws of the game. Unless that one's called on the ground. I believe it was called shooting. Yes, it was. So the first free throws of the game now being taken just about 25 minutes of game time into the game. Milton misses that one. Nathaniel Stokes from Tacoma, Washington, which is right up the road. And again, Aaron Landon, somebody that always seen, wanted to be a part of whatever program he was coaching at the time, could never get him, but realized after his year last year at Bryant University, because this is a guy that has a lot of different tools. The throw out to the corner off the back iron. Hunter Sipe nearly made this place erupt. Milton high off glass, rebound to the big Stokes. Stokes will take it down himself, and you see some of that versatility right there. Able to pull down that rebound. Hafner wide open in the corner, and he misses. That's a rare miss with that much space around him, and Hunter Sipe is called for the foul. But just in those two kind of bubble circumstances with Sipe and Stokes, you see the strategy for Aaron Landon in replacing some of those key players lost last year. Find guys who are from this area, who are looking at maybe being graduate students, maybe in older transfers. And if they enter the portal, you see their name pop up, and tell them they can play a lot of their basketball in front of their families, which for most of those guys didn't get the chance to do as much over the past couple years. Stokes now guarding Watkins. Huge height disparity in this one. Watkins taking him too, but there's a screen as well. Hafner ends up with the rebound after bodies are hitting the floor everywhere. Stokes and Jaden Nielsen-Skinner both down. They both get up simultaneously. Both seem to be okay, just recovering for a half second from the knock. Champ Spencer's going to relieve Nathaniel Stokes, who just put in a good shift. Update right now on the scoring numbers. It's Milton with 19 points to lead all scorers. Nobody else in double figures. Pearlstein's at 9, though, however, for the Cougars. As this is a throw up the court, and Sipe's going to get to it. Now kicked out. Champ Spencer will hold, and now he'll pull up. In and out. Hunter Sipe, a gritty rebound there. After that's going to be a jump ball, I believe. Yes, sir. Hunter Sipe. Right in front of him. It was rebounded by Quinn Decker, but Sipe just said that ball's just as much mine as it is yours. And he nearly ripped it away completely from Denker. It's going to be an inbound from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Throws it up to Spencer. Spencer, wide open three, and just couldn't get it to go. Now Nielsen-Skinner pulls out. 10 on the shot clock, 13:50 to go in the half. Spencer, a pick and roll all the way. High off glass from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. That ball lofted up and hung in the air for about 5 seconds before it came down and ended in a bucket to make it a 16-point lead for St. Martin's. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner got screened there by number 13, Chase Boucher, and kind of delivered more of the hit than the screener did. Boucher, no foul called, and in the end, Milton drove to the lane and got fouled. Milton, one of these free throws will put him over 20, over 21 if he knocked it over. That was on number 14, Hunter Sipe there. Makes the first. A little bit of ways that happened. If you haven't caught up yet, it is Cal State San Marcos wearing blue, going from right to left on your screen in the second half. And in the white is the home team. St. Martin's. Both free throws go down for Milton. He goes to 3 for 4 on the day from the charity stripe. 14-point lead for St. Martin's. Both these squads saw game one and realized that no matter how big of a lead you have, it's that one nearly a beautiful, beautiful adjustment. Ends up not being able to go in. Sipe can't put in the putback. The kick out for 3. No. Offensive board. And another miss. Eventually a foul called on the Cougars there. Edwin Collins got the offensive board, went up with it, and then after he missed that putback, he gets called for a foul there. I didn't think it was a foul either way from what I saw. But of course, I was opposed to it. I just love good hard play below the basket. My line as a referee is a lot less stingy than probably what it should actually be as the inbound goes to Skinny. Poked out, Skinny goes coast to coast, puts it in. That's the backfire of the full court press. You beat your man, you can go all the way to the hoop, and that's exactly what happened. The kick out, Milton for 3. Milton answers with a clutch three-pointer. If the Cougars find a way to come back and possibly pull off this win, it is going to be because of Greg Milton. There is not much of a way I see it happening without him being a part of it. Champ Spencer for 3. He hits it. Down the pipe for Champ Spencer. He had one rim out a moment ago. That one is nothing but net. 61-45. He answers the Milton 3 with one of his own. Now it's Milton guarded by Spencer. Nice dish. Boucher puts it in. That's what happens when you have a guy that's called upon offensively so much as Greg Milton. They had to overplay him. The hedge, as well as the guy that was screened, both go to guard Milton. And the guy who set the screen, Boucher, wide open on the pick and roll. 61-47, 14-point lead for St. Martin's. 5 on the shot clock. Nielsen-Skinner, air ball. And it goes out, and it will be St. Martin's ball. That was an air ball, though. No reset of the shot clock, and it will be 1 on the shot clock. Greeley and Brandon Bunn will check back in, relieving Hafner And I don't know who else, because now they're going to go into a muddle over on their own bench. It's immediate timeout. 11:28 to go in the second half. We have 1 second on the shot clock. St. Martin's ball when we come back. A 14-point lead for the Saints. Don't go anywhere. Back here, a situation right now, 1 second on the shot clock, so a good chance for a media timeout for Aaron Landon to be able to tell his guys what to do coming out of this timeout. He's going to look for a quick shot. We see Hafner, Sipe, and Greeley all in there that can shoot. Champ Spencer, we just saw him make a three, so a lot of guys that can shoot on the court right now, a lot of what Aaron Landon has recruited. Christian Hafner, shot clock violation before anything else happened. It was not a lot of time, and Hafner was not able to put something in the allotted amount. 61-47 after the turnover caused by good Cal State San Marcos defense. Milton with it, and Milton is fouled. Champ Spencer called for the foul. Spencer, that's his first personal team. Ball. That's a first foul on Champ Spencer. Ball goes into Watkins. He'll take it up. Shot clock was reset to 20 with that foul. Now it's Milton with it. Gets switched. Just a screen frenzy all around. As the kick out to Watkins, that shot is up and good. Three-pointer makes it an 11-point game. All these players saw game one. All these players know exactly how much this game can change. That's not just because they saw game one, it's because they've all been playing basketball probably since as soon as they learned how to walk. Brandon Bunn goes to the rack. He puts it up and in. 63 points. For St. Martin's, they've officially scored what opponents on average scored against Cal State San Marcos last year. They one of the first bones to pick as B.J. Foster not thrilled with what his offense or what his defense has done, but what Milton has done, you cannot really put a value on other than show his point total and just all he's done. Watkins called for a foul there, and again, you see that Patrick Beverly-like defense from Watkins. A little too much. Referees tell him to pump the brakes a little bit by calling a foul. His third foul, and now he's back in again. We'll see how much he's willing to hand check with 3 fouls on him. That's a 3-ball up and good. Brandon Bunn. A little stare down of Watkins after the bucket, 66-52. Under 10 minutes to go here in the second half. St. Martin's trying to hold on. Well, it would be a huge upset to start their season. But at the same time, even though it goes down on upset on paper, I'm sure they don't see it that much that way. Milton, another bucket from the Cougars guard. Absolutely unstoppable at times. Bunn with it, trying to create space with Watkins. Watkins, a little bit less hand checky as this one's out to Champ. And a beautiful play by Hunter Sipe. Sipe fires up into the air, grabs that ball, and like a cannon, shoots it off a Cougar and out. Earned another possession for St. Martin's after that missed Champ Spencer 3. Cam Spencer's relieved. Now in is Shaquem Alcindor. Alcindor right now being guarded by Zach Perlstein, who he's got probably 4 inches on. Bunn comes in. Bunn with some contact, and we are seeing a little bit of the Brandon Bunn show here in this second half. Watkins with it, guarded by Sipe. Milton's getting the face-guarded treatment, but Brandon Bunn will let him get to it. Pick and roll coming. He's going to go all the way to the hoop, and he puts it in. If you're Aaron Landon, the strategy right now needs to be that Milton should not touch the ball, ever. There's a foul called. Is it on Watkins or on Edwin Collins? It's on Edwin Collins, his 3rd. Inbound coming under. Brandon Bunn with Watkins guarding the inbound, thrown up to Alcindor. Sipe gets it now, and that is going to be a foul on the ground, as it was a smart play by Lyle Sutton, who was guarding Kyle Greeley. Realized he was getting the screen, he was beat, and the perfect inbounds play was met by a good basketball IQ play from Lyle Sutton, the grad student from Rexburg, Idaho, transfer from Idaho State. Alcindor all the way. Alcindor lays it up and in. Zach Perlstein overplayed that inbounds pass. Alcindor went up and over him, grabbed it, and by the time Alcindor was at the bucket, I think Perlstein had already realized his fate. Watkins now will drive in, but he'll kick it out. Now it's Perlstein. Alcindor's not going to guard him out on the three-point arc. Maybe he should have, as Perlstein knocks it down. And there you see the other side of the mismatch. The fact that Alcindor's not one to play out on the perimeter. And Watkins still up in the shorts of Brandon Bunn on 3 fouls. This one's into Alcindor. Spin move, and he was going up to try and fly and dunk that, but instead realized maybe a little bit too far away, just adjust and put it in the bottom of the net. 72-59, 7.5 seconds left. The backdoor cut. Alcindor forces a miss. Never mind, he forced the miss because of a foul. No such thing as a late call, but there is a call that throws off the broadcaster. As I thought that was good D. Instead, there was some contact there. We're going to get some free throws after the break. But before that, we're going to take a quick break ourselves. 7:28 left to go in the second half. It's a 13-point lead for St. Martin's over Cal State San Marcos. Welcome back. It is a 72-59 game right now. The St. Martin's squad, last season, they averaged 78 points per game. But the big thing was that they scored 9.2 three-pointers per game. You're seeing similar stats right now. One of the best shooting teams in the league. That's what Aaron Landon brought to Lacey last year. You're seeing similar things this year. Lyle Sutton makes the first of 2 free throws as he picked up that foul. It's called on Alcindor on the last possession. Knocks down both free throws, does Lyle Sutton, originally from Rexburg, Idaho, which is not too far away from Pocatello where Idaho State is located. Interception thrown by Brandon Bunn. Kyle Greeley lost his footing on the way down, and a layup there from Lyle Sutton makes it a single-digit lead. Christian Hafner with it. Pass it back to Bunn. Bunn needs to get down the court. He has 5 seconds to get over half court. Does it just in time. Watkins, relentless defense. 7 minutes to go. This one's up to Alcindor. Throws to Sipe in the corner. Hafner drives, keeps in bounds somehow, and it's stolen the other way. Now Milton. Blocked by Greeley. That was a much-needed block there to stop the 2-on-1 fast break. Kick out to Hafner. Hafner for three. No. Rebound Milton. 72-63. And I believe the Saints just went back into their 2-3 zone. Three-pointer for Milton. Milton hits it. 72-66. And Aaron Landon calls a timeout immediately out to chew his players because he did not like what he saw defensively in the last few possessions. 72-66, 6:15 to go. We'll take another break. Just like game one, an exciting finish coming up. Back here, 6:15 to go in this game. And right before the game, actually at halftime of game one, a pass by Aaron Landon asked how he was feeling. And he said that next hour was going to be the longest hour of his life waiting for this game to start. Well, I'll tell you what, these next 6 minutes might also be some of the longest of his life, as a huge lead at one point for the Saints, and it has evaporated. Alcindor gets it under the bucket. Alcindor, contact is eventually called against Alcindor. Lyle Sutton called for the foul, his second foul. This is our first chance to see Shaquem Alcindor at the line. Probably going to get plenty of chances to shoot from the charity stripe this year, so let's see what Alcindor can bring. Nice smooth shot. That's what you love to see from a big. And a cross-court high five aimed Kyle Greeley's way afterwards. 73-66, 7-point lead. 5:55 to go. Second free throw. Bangs that one in. That is what you love to see. A big that can shoot free throws. I'm here for it. Or at least that, just knows. Calm yourself down. Slow your heart rate if you have that ability. As Lyle Sutton drives in, throws cross court and easily intercepted by Tyke Thompson. Out to three-point land. Stokes! Down the pipe. Lead back to double figures for the Saints. 2 free throws from Shaquem Alcindor and a 30-second timeout called by B.J. Foster. We'll stay with you during this 30-second break. But what just a flurry, 2 possessions there. Shaquem Alcindor fights for it below the block after Jaden Nielsen-Skinner almost throws it away. And then coming down on this last possession, stolen by Tyke Thompson. You give it to Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Down the court, Stokes in the corner, takes the second, and bang, puts it in the bottom of the net. Cal State San Marcos, their season last season, Already talked about it plenty. They won their first ever CCAA tournament championship, made their first NCAA appearance as the #1 seed in the West region. 20-5 overall. They got ranked as high as number 4 in the Division II Top 25 Coaches Poll and number 5 in the media poll. And yes, they're at a loss for some of the talent, but we have seen the return of Greg Milton III. The Wyoming transfer has been absolutely electric. Going to be a key part throughout the season. Speaking of, he's with the ball right now. Lyle Sutton, he kicks out. Watkins out to Milton. Back to Watkins, kicked around to the corner. Sutton's there. Electric defense right now from the Saints, but Milton finds a hole in the middle, and everything he shoots at the basket finds a way in. Lead cut back to single digits. It's a 9-point advantage for St. Martin's. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner will opt to have Kyle Greeley brings it up, but then he collects. Gets a screen from Stokes. Back to Stokes. He fires away. Stokes misses. Rebound goes to Milton. 2 on 3, and Milton smartly holds up. To Sutton. Sutton for 3. He misses it. And Tyke Thompson's going to give up the possession. Just a little bit lackadaisical, thinking about where he was going to get that ball. Pulls it down and finds a way out of his paws and out of bounds. Going to be a baseline throw-in. I don't know why I said throw-in. It's still caught on soccer season a little bit, I think. Baseline inbound for the St. Martin for Cal State San Marcos. They get it to Milton. Milton nonchalantly makes his way to the rim and puts it in. Something we have seen quite a bit. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, they're in no rush right now at St. Martin's. 77-70, 6 fouls each, so next foul for either side will at least be 1 free throw. That ball thrown away by Jaden Nielsen-Skinner as him and Tyke Thompson not on the same page. And they will have a defensive possession here with 4:08 to go. We are in a situation right now for St. Martin's where unless they get a wide open shot, they will not be taking a shot clock or not be taking a shot with over 10 on the shot clock, and I can almost be sure of that. This one's in the middle to Milton. Milton over Stokes, and one of the first misses of the half for him ends up falling to Tyke Thompson. Nielsen-Skinner takes it down the court. Nielsen-Skinner, a Portland State transfer, as is Kyle Greeley. This one's all the way, and it doesn't go off glass and in, just hits the rim and goes out. Now Watkins with it. Watkins, as they set up the 2-3 zone again. Watkins gets the pass from Milton. Milton, the backdoor cut, no look there. That one's going to go off the hands of Zach Perlstein and out of bounds. 3:15 left to go, our final media timeout. Ladies and gentlemen, when you come back, it will be 3 minutes and 15 seconds of exciting basketball. Don't go anywhere. Back here, we're going to take you through the final 3 minutes and 15 seconds of this game. It is 6 fouls apiece. That means any fouls are at least a 1-and-1. Of course, if they're shooting fouls, they result in 2 or 3 free throws, or 1 if it's an and-1. You know, simple basketball stuff you probably know, but just catching you up. 77-70 is our score here. 30 seconds on the shot clock to start now. 20 with 3 minutes left. And an offensive foul is called on Tyke Thompson. Looked to me like he was kind of tripped, essentially. He got his foot caught in the floor and kind of went into, I believe, Milton a little bit too hard. So, of course, that foul does not result in a 1-on-1 because it was an offensive foul, but now firmly in the bonus is the Cougars. Pearlstein almost lost it, instead giving it up, now trapped underneath. Ball bounces around a little bit. Pearlstein for three, can't make it fall. Good rebound for Stokes. Strong rebound, now up the floor, didn't have enough mustard on it. Tyke Thompson gets it, he fires away. Missed rebound, Sipe. They'll pull out, they'll hold up. Get a reset of the shot clock, as that's going to be a foul. Pearlstein was kind of almost on the back of Nathaniel Stokes there. Took a delay for the ref to call it before realizing that, yes, it's a foul on number 10, and that is the fourth foul on Pearlstein. 1-1 for Nathaniel Stokes here. Going to get a quick talk over to the bench of the St. Martin Saints to tell them to sit down. Everybody, in theory, except for Aaron Landon, should be sitting for most of the time. But the whole team was pretty much standing. We're going to get a timeout on Cal State San Marcos. So right now, what the situation is, 7 fouls apiece, 4 fouls on Cal State San Marcos, number 10, Zach Pearlstein, the native of Vacaville, California, from Cal State East Bay. A 7-point lead. Lots of 7s on the scoreboard right now. 7-point lead, a 77-70 game. Trying to trip me up saying all that. And 2 free throws upcoming for Nathaniel Stokes after this 30-second timeout. Quick conversation between Nathaniel Stokes and the referee who called that last foul. Probably saying something along the lines of, I was very nervous you weren't going to call that because there was a delay there, and it was kind of a around-the-back situation. 77-70. Nathaniel Stokes, 1-1. I think I said 2 free throws earlier, but it's 1-1 for Stokes. Pavilion goes quiet. Stokes, fluid, and through the bucket. .223 left in this game. That free throw is also through. Easy money, 2 swishes from Nathaniel Stokes, and the ball will be inbounded to Watkins. Watkins takes it down, passes to Milton. Sipe is the unfortunate Saint that has the duty of guarding Milton at this point. And Milton's going to get some space. I don't think there's any chance he doesn't take a shot. Now Nielsen Skinner will kick out to Watkins. Watkins drives. Watkins finds Mensah. Mensah up and in. No. Goes off the backboard, hits the rim and out. Greeley will end up with it after it crosses over half court. Stokes, a veteran presence, says, let's chill out. And Watkins, if there's ever a time to play up in your face defense, this is the time to do it. And a foul called eventually on Watkins. At this point in the game, when Watkins' guy gets the ball, you can almost, with 100% confidence, say it's either going to be a foul or a steal. Watkins will accept nothing less. Jaden Nielsen Skinner, a 1-1. Potentially two key shots right here for St. Martin's. First shot's in. Free throws, so crucial. Right now, St. Martin's making their big shots from the charity stripe. Jaden Nielsen Skinner again. Deep breath. 2 dribbles and fires. That one's off the front of the rim. Offensive rebound, Stokes. He stumbles, slips on the floor. His foot came out from him as he was very much just trying to hold up the offense and be slow on it, as we see We see the trainer, Isaac, down there. Isaac, it's his job coming out, and a lot of student athletes in the crowd knows exactly who he is. Gives him the applause for the slippage cleanup that he has. Milton will start. We also see the first appearance of Bing Huang coming in. Maybe a specialist in terms of shooting. That's the reason they're bringing him in. Steal from Greeley. Greeley, can he go coast to coast? He can. He puts it in to an eruption from the student section. 82-70 is our score here. 114 away from an upset over the number 13 team, ranked team in the country. Milton guarded by Thompson. Perfect defense from Thompson. Get a hand in the face and a missed shot from Milton. 1 minute to go. And the Marcus Pavilion crowd can taste it here. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner now relieved to not have Watkins all up in his bootstraps as this one's thrown to Thompson. Back to Stokes. Stokes out to Sipe. It's deflected and eventually goes out of bounds with 2 seconds on the shot clock. 35.6 on the actual clock. Thrown into Greeley. Greeley, the turnaround, and he hits it as the shot clock expires. Nail, meat, coffin. Kyle Greeley may have just cemented the upset. Milton the other way. He makes it. And this game wouldn't be complete without at least one more Milton bucket. But now, with the shot clock turned off, it's just get it over half court, and you might have just won this game. Throw into Nielsen-Skinner. Nobody's near him. Watkins can do nothing about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. An eruption at Marcus Pavilion one more time. The upset is complete. And I'll tell you what, it's an upset on paper, but there is no individual on that bench that truly believes that this is an upset. They came in here with the ability and the want to win this game. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have an interview with Coach Aaron Landon as well as one of the players from the St. Martin squad. Do not go anywhere. It's going to be exciting to talk to Coach Landon after the big win. Welcome back here inside Marcus Pavilion. I'm here with head coach Aaron Landon after the big win. Coach, first of all, on paper, goes down as an upset. These guys were ranked. They were the number one team in the West last year. But I said at the end that I truly don't think anybody over on your guys' bench think that it was an upset, think that, that team was better than you guys in most competitions. So how do you feel after that gritty win?
It is still an upset on paper, and we need to get that written as an upset because they're nationally ranked and we weren't. But we only win that game because that wasn't an upset in our hearts. You know what I'm saying? We came in really confident. We had 2 good weeks of practice. We had a secret scrimmage with a Division I school and looked good. So we felt like we were rounding into form. We were starting to get guys healthy, and guys just showed up tonight across the board. Just looking at the stat sheet, they're pretty top-heavy scoring-wise. That Greg Milton is incredibly good, but just really proud of our guys tonight.
Yeah, and let me ask you about Greg Milton. I mean, obviously you guys were all over the place in terms of your scoring, and that's kind of how it was last year. That was the reason part of your success is that you had multiple weapons, but they just kept going back to Milton and getting bucket. It seemed like you wouldn't miss for the most part in that second half. What were you trying to tell your team to just limit his damage and then do enough offensively to get over the finish line?
We were saying different things throughout the game, in terms of limiting damage. There wasn't that much damage early on, and then, at halftime we're talking about how does he have 17, and then, damage control in the last 8 minutes. There's no X's and O's in the timeout. We're just screaming, hey, we got to get a stop. Like 32 scoring every single time, but here's the deal. We held him scoreless last year, and we go down there and we lose, and they beat us up pretty good. Yeah. We hate 39. That's a really ugly number. He's an incredible player. He plays with an incredible motor, but we'll take the 39. We won. We were balanced. We're going to have to be that way to be successful. They're a really, really good program. They should remain nationally ranked, in my opinion. We just like a few more votes, but they're a great program, and we were fortunate to get a win tonight.
You talked about that matchup last year. I know after you guys get upset in the conference tournament and then you look at your resume at the end of the year, I know that was one of those games that you look back on and you say, man, if we would have performed better, if we maybe would have won, a couple of those games in the early season come back to really be resume builders in the end. How big is it for you and for the team to have this one under your belt, and for the team just to have the confidence in general, too, going forward that they can play with anybody?
To be honest about last year, that loss didn't hurt us. That still strengthened us because we're playing a tough schedule. We hurt ourselves as a conference by letting 10 teams in. We hurt ourselves as a program by losing that first game in the tournament. Yeah. I'll take 100% fault on that. Win or lose, this is a great game to have on the schedule. San Marcos is a national power. They were the number 1 seed in the region last year. We just want to play tough teams. This time of year, you're just trying to get better. You can't get better if you're playing somebody that you know isn't as good as you. And so we were just excited to come out and compete with a really good club that's really well coached and well organized. We'll see what happens with the resume later on down the road, but here's the deal. If we lose tomorrow night, now our resume sucks. So we just got to keep focused, on the moment, not think about the larger kind of regional implications with these games. We've scheduled a really tough schedule, and we know in February that's what's going to count, is playing those tough teams early on.
Finally, we're just about to talk to Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, and a great game for him as well as just about everybody in the starting lineup and a lot of contributors as well. You have a guy like him and a guy like Kyle Greeley who made some great shots late. What can you say about, having this kind of veteran presence, at least a veteran presence in a squad with a lot of newcomers like Jaden Nielsen-Skinner to finish off a win?
Okay, so here's the deal. Kyle Greeley makes shots. Nobody's shocked. That's not even news. That's like page 8. He's going to make shots all year. That's what he does. I've been really hard on this guy all week, talking about last year. And we're on the air, so I'll say he got his butt kicked last year when we went down there to San Marcos by McCain, who's a really good player. And we always talk about we just tell the truth. We don't do anything else. We don't sugarcoat it. We were telling the truth all week, so I got to do this, and then I'm out of here. Tonight, this guy, he won that matchup. He won us the game. Jace McCain's a great player. First team all-conference last year. He's one of the best players in the NCAA West region. We didn't hide. We didn't cross-match. We put Skinny on him to start the game. He finishes 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. He does his job getting assists. This was the reason we won the game. He won his matchup. He was the most important player.
Plus minus of 21, too, when Skinny was on the floor.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's pretty good.
I was so blinded by a year ago, and I'm a sensitive guy, and I wasn't thinking plus minus. I was watching them go head-to-head. That's all I was thinking about tonight. I know that's probably not the way to look at it, but I'm just so proud that in that head-to-head, I thought our guy carried the day for us.
Awesome. Well, we'll have you take off the headset and hand it over to Jaden here.
It's official, man.
Yeah. We got the backdrop and everything for you.
I've never been on something like this. It's legit.
So, first of all, just kind of take us through your feelings in this day leading up to this game, knowing, the loss last year and how, your coach phrased your performance last year, and just knowing how much this meant to you and, to the crowd that made their way out. Like, what was your thought process coming into this match?
Yeah, we were super excited. We went and played against Oregon Tech and Montana for like a little close scrimmages, and we weren't happy with how we performed in those scrimmages. I'd say against Montana we played very well, but I just think those scrimmages helped us out a lot to like show how we should play, and how it shows that what we did today was like super special. I don't know how many teams have beaten a ranked team in St. Martin's history like opening day. It's pretty special, and we got a super special group. And I love our guys. Super happy.
There's a lot of newcomers to the team. Almost all of them feel like they've had college experience. Some grad transfers from late veteran transfers. 3 out of the 5 starters, other than you and KG, were newbies, but guys that have played college basketball before. How have you tried to help them adapt to St. Martin's, to not just the game, but just living here, being on campus, being engaged, all you guys do? How have you kind of taken on that leadership role?
Yeah, honestly, we're just a bunch of gym rats. We love being in the gym. We love playing basketball and being together. And I knew from the jump, right when we got on campus, that when we had a optional open gym, we had our whole 17 guys here. And I think that just shows how much we care about basketball and how much we care about making this team as best as we can be.
Of course, today, a Veterans Day kind of holiday that helped fuel this, 4 p.m. first tip is great atmosphere. Student section was here, fueling you guys, especially when you went on those runs in the first half and then to get you guys across the finish line. What's it like to play in front of the crowd here at Marcus?
Honestly, nothing beats it. Nothing beats it. When we have a big crowd and this place is rocking, it's a beautiful place to play. And it's like you don't get many experiences like this in the GNAC. The gym's super small, but it feels a lot. And when we have a crowd, we feed off that energy, and we love our crowd.
Awesome.
Love our crowd.
Awesome. Thank you, Skinny. Congrats on the big win.
Thank you, and happy Veterans Day. Shout out to the troops.
We'll be right back to close this up. Ready? All right, fans, we saw a great matchup today between St. Martin's and number 13 ranked Cal State San Marcos. Obviously, with Coach Landon mentioning, we're going to see a little bit of the shift in the polls next week, but both teams still have business to take care of tomorrow. Cal State San Marcos and Montana State Billings are going to play a great matchup tomorrow. You got to join us for that one. It's early. It is 10 a.m. first tip tomorrow morning. If you're in California, that'll still be 10 a.m. If you're watching from Montana, that will be an 11 Mountain Time. So a little bit more chance to sleep in, eat some donuts for breakfast or whatever you do. And then, of course, St. Martin's will take on Holy Names to cap off the night of basketball and volleyball that we're having here at Marcus Pavilion. A 7:30 tip-off between Cal State and Holy Names. Real quick, going to go over some of the stats. Obviously, Coach Aaron Landon mentioned it. 39 points from Greg Milton, the Sacramento native, Wyoming transfer. Clearly one of the best players, not just playing today, but in the country at the D2 level. Just electric when he was on the floor, no doubt. Zach Perlstein was the only other double-digit scorer with 12. Leading the rebound category was Joel Menso with 7. Right behind him, Greg Milton added 6 boards as well. 24 shots, and 16 of those went in for Milton. On the other side, 5 different scores in double figures for a very eclectic St. Martin's squad offensively. Led by Brandon Bunn, the transfer from Newman had 16. Right behind him, Kyle Greeley with 15. 14 from Shaquem Alcindor, another newcomer that was a big force in the low block. And then 12 from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, who we just talked to, and 10 from Tyke Thompson. Leading rebounder, well, it was just a split as the scoring was. Tyke Thompson had 5, Hunter Sipe had 5, and then you saw Champ Spencer coming in off the bench. Just 11 minutes of action for him, but he added 4 rebounds to the mix as well. Shooting the ball well, 56% shooting percentage, and 9 three-pointers from the St. Martin Saints. A big reason for it. They had a lead of up to 18 at the beginning of the second half. However, that lead was whittled down to a narrow margin a narrow margin between near the end, but in the end, a 12-point edge and victory for St. Martin's. This is a squad with a lot of weapons. It can hit you a lot of different ways. And the biggest question is when they come up against a scorer like Greg Milton, what will their answer be for that going forward? That'll just about wrap it up here from Marcus Pavilion. Again, join us at 10 a.m. tomorrow for basketball all day. It starts at 10 a.m. We have a neutral site, as I mentioned, between MSU Billings and Cal State San Marcos. From there, we go to another neutral site women's basketball game between Western Oregon and Humboldt State. And then the women's basketball team for St. Martin's takes on Capilano before we play some volleyball. And then we come back to finish off the night with St. Martin's nightcapping it against Holy Names. Thank you once again for everybody that joined us today. Thanks to our cameraman, Zane Leposki, as well as our producer/wizard who deals with all the technical difficulties here and holds down the fort and keeps us all sane, Sydney Henderson. Thanks to all of you for joining in. As also got a shout-out Ibrahim Mustafa for doing all our stats for us today and throughout the season. My name is Scott Gladstone. Once again, we'll talk to you tomorrow all day for more basketball from Marcus Pavilion. Until then, stay safe out there.